All right, we have another Field of Glory 2 Digital League Season 8 battle. This is Early Middle Ages, Division A. I have the Vikings in Ireland with Irish allies against Panther Boys Dailami with Arabs, Syria, Iraq. Panther Boy is a very skilled player. I would say he beats me in about 70 or 80% of our games. So count me intimidated. So, looking at his army, it looks like I can actually outnumber him in terms of light skirmishers and have more or less parity when we count in his mass muscle archers. However, he gets access to large numbers of light horse, and I do not get any. Furthermore, he gets good, cheap lancers. Those will be pretty effective at zone of control locking my spearmen. The elephants I'm not too worried about. The Gilman could be good. They're rather expensive, but superior and lots of firepower, so I'll probably need to max my skirmishers just in case. In terms of an infantry line, the main notable feature is the Dailami foot. These are impact foot. The regular sorts are equivalent to Scutari or Samnite foot. So they're pretty good, but a little bit brittle if they don't break through on impact. The veterans are pretty terrifying. Superior protected impact foot. You know, that superior quality sort of offsets the main downside of being medium foot and prone to cohesion loss. Otherwise, he has standard light spear swordsman or defensive spearman. I don't think he'll bring very many of either. So, we have very good defensive terrain, and we are at least initially going to make use of it, at least until Panther Boy forces me to abandon it, which is very possible. These Irish Kerns are kind of terrible, so we'll put them on the far end. The Irish foot is quite good. They're unprotected, which doesn't really matter in melee because they have heavy weapon. So as long as they don't get shot at, they'll be okay, and as long as I don't let the Dailami charge them in the open. If both units are disordered, the impact will be less severe and hopefully more survivable. I don't tend to get large numbers of superior infantry, but this might be the kind of battle where I make an exception. Just because the fear is cohesion collapse in the face of impact foot. We will also, unfortunately, be needing to max out our own skirmishers, which is going to cost quite a bit as we rely on primarily light archers, which are 30 a pop. But I don't intend to get shot to death while standing in front of lancers. Or at least not easily. Or at least I hope that he is forced to expend some ammunition before that happens. We'll have to downgrade our expectations accordingly. Now, I have a bit of a problem. I have enough points that I could get good medium foot support on the flanks or decent cavalry support on the flanks, but not both. I'm starting to rethink my investment in these expensive Huskarls. Let's grab a couple of cavalry units as a sort of fire. Well, three cavalry units as a sort of fire brigade, and then we can grab More Irish foot. Why not? We'll grab 1 unit of berserkers. Oh, they're fun. Let's just do it. Okay, so we'll start defensively, but like I said, it's quite possible that Panther Boy will force a more offensive stance from me with superior firepower. Something like that. Oh, yes, I am in Division A. Maybe I should be good enough by now to remember to place my commanders. Right. Alright. What have we got? Okay, this makes me feel slightly less bad. Undoubtedly, well, not undoubtedly, but I assume there are more skirmishers in support there. So we'll keep 3 units on this wing, but otherwise we can shift the balance of our skirmishers to the left, and our cavalry wing as well can shift over. Otherwise, we can stand our ground for the moment. There is a danger that I will be outflanked here, but hopefully we'll hold because the enemy will be disordered. But we might need to do some maneuvering to patch this up. And he will go through this way with lancers if he can. But if the opportunity presents itself, we will attack. If he gets bogged down over here and his infantry line is here, we would come down into the flat, because I think our infantry line would have a pretty decent chance of breaking through. That'll do for now. So Panther Boy is claiming to be rusty, so that'll make it all the more humiliating when he does crush me. This is actually starting to concern me enough that I'm going to shift this unit of berserkers over. These are a great unit, the Bedouin Light Horse. They are lancers, swordsmen, so they can do quite a bit of damage with rear charges against non-light units and can trash other skirmishers in the open. We will perhaps want to spread our lights out to block their movement. Okay. Alright, next turn. Right, we'll slowly shift these berserkers to the right. That's a lot of archers. The impact of it is just terrifying. Only 6 units of cavalry. I mean, greatly outnumbering my 3, but I might be able to do something about them, maybe. Two units of lights to counter the 2 units of lights. Ooh, we're outflanked by 4 non-light units. It might be worth peeling off another unit to cover that flank. Alright, Panther Boy asked me if I was content to sit or if I was going to meet him like a gentleman. I'm content to sit for the moment. If I move out, this cavalry is going to be on me. And my line is too short here, though he, of course, doesn't know that yet. But I suspect he will have the missile power to force me to come down with these massed archers. Okay, I've increased my volume, so hopefully this can be in a good spot that I can just keep it at now. So many massed archers. I think I do want to melt further back into the trees. We're not permanently falling back, but we do need to at least force him to get closer. We can always rush back up to the crest of the hill, so we can fall back one more tile and still be good. Yeah. After that, we'll probably have to charge. And what am I doing with my cavalry? I suppose we are just going to continue to sit there. Okay, onward. Next turn, let's see if Panther Boy can force me to move yet. Yep, hello, hello. And hello. Good, we can at least slow these from getting behind us. Pull our archers back and get our cavalry ready to cover this flank. And continue to shuffle extra mediums to the right flank. And then we can fall back one more tile here, though not here, so that we can hold the crest of the hill when he advances. But soon, next turn, we'll need to stand our ground and fight. And what's probably going to happen is that we're going to get outshot, and we're going to have to come down off our nice cozy little hills into the open and stop being quite such cowards. Move these archers here so these shuffle out, we can still pin them. Okay, so I think the overall plan is to, well, we'll neutralize his skirmishers with ours and absorb arrows from master archers and advance here. And we're going to have to try to hold this line here, as we can't afford to get wrapped around. These two units should help with that. Difficulties are going to be twofold. Ultimately, I don't think missile fire is going to be a big deal, and I don't think this cavalry is going to be a great danger here because we have units hidden in the forest or behind the forest and cavalry. I don't think we're going to win this flank either. I think it'll kind of even out. I think the difficulty will be the veteran Dailami foot. There's a lot of them, and if they disrupt my spearmen on impact, they'll just obliterate them. This elephant, it's just one unit, but it could create difficulties for me as well. It is generaled up. So, onward. Next turn. See what Panther Boy forces me to do here. Yeah. Okay, and it begins. Not too bad. So he's clearly coming to zone of control lock with this Bedouin cavalry. Very annoying. So it's looking rather grim on the right. We're about to get outflanked. And he's going to get there before my reinforcements can arrive. But there's nothing for it now. Got to gain the summit of the hill. And hopefully not just break on impact with the Dailami foot. Always a possibility. This could get iffy. Okay. Well, as always, my money is on Panther Boy, but I might be able to do some damage first. Okay, now we get forced to advance. Yeah, I've beaten Panther Boy once in Field of Glory 2, and he was trying to use the Indians, so there's that. So it looks like this is going to be another one of those collapsing games. I have had rather more success against him in Pike and Shot. I think I'm probably better at Pike and Shot than I am at Field of Glory 2. Right. Okay, that's awful. That's awful. How bad are these combats? Bad. How bad is that combat? Not terrible until the line starts getting rolled. So it might be that this caves and we need to hold a line on this hill. The question is, do I pull my skirmishers back in order to get close enough to force engagement? Or do I try to disrupt with the skirmishers, inch forward one square that would allow him to fall back again for cohesion checks if you wanted to? First, we'll just charge. They evaded because they saw these picked Irish foot nearby. Very good. Give them a shove, get them out of the way. Lock in these horsemen. Excellent. Now we charge. This could hurt, but we're generaled up. Good. Back. No need to sacrifice them yet. Good. And what do we do? Do we inch forward? I don't think so. 3 units to 4. Not wise. Here we may have no choice. I suppose we'll just have to accept the risk of getting fragged. What do we do with you? Yeah. Opening a gap in the line, always a terrible idea. Alright, how awful is this? Unfortunately, not awful. I'd rather it was awful so I wouldn't feel so bad about this getting wrecked. I could threaten the flank, but then they'll just lock us in anyway. But I suppose we will do so. Might be worth. There. Well, I don't like it, but I never really do when I'm fighting Panther Boy, so we'll see if this panic spreads or if we can try to slow this wing down while we force something to happen over here. I don't know. Next turn. Ah, yes, that. Do we hold firm at least? Yes. Still gonna lose this whole flank. But it'll take time to lose it. It's all that matters. I think. That assumes that I can win somewhere else, which is rather a large assumption. So he blocked in these lights to get butchered so that he could get away, get through the zone of control, push behind me. Ouch. I was really hoping some of those damned cohesion checks would fail. And that I would pass more of the cohesion checks against the impact foot. Actually, would have been better had they simply broken. Shove them off. Or misclick. Misclick is good too. Very good. Irish foot are going to have to get shot up a bit, and that is unfortunate, but we do have light support on the way. So even uphill, if we're disrupted, the Swordsman POA is fully unlocked, so we suffer quite badly. Yeah, he's gonna start folding up this whole right side soon. And there's little enough that we can do about it. I can't even pull these out of the way because of this melee that's ongoing. What if I do that? Nope. I suppose an alternative is to... no. The answer is no. Right. Okay. Just you remaining. Quite hideous. I think what he might do is charge here, charge here. Oh no, all he has to do is charge here, resolve this melee, and hit them in the flank. There's nothing I can do about it. So I think we're about to get obliterated, actually. I think we're going to get picked apart here and here without making rapid enough progress here to make a difference. Onward. Next turn. Oh yeah, this is over. I mean, not this turn or anything, but there's really no coming back from this. That's pretty bad. Pure unit disrupting like that. Well, at least we'll get some points on the table before we completely lose our center. Break them. So Panther Boy asked me in the opening why this unit in the rear charge only got plus 50 and disrupted, even though it was a rear charge with Lancers. I think it's because, like, in an ordinary charge, it would be 100 for Lancer as opposed to 100 for heavy weapon, plus 50 for heavy foot, plus, or for superior, plus 50 for general. But because he was charged from behind, he gained the standard plus 150 bonus, essentially. Well, I'm slaying some lights for whatever whatever that's worth. Bad idea. Look at the auto drop now. Unless I do something absurd, like cover there, then cover that. It's a little bit silly, admittedly, but what can you do? Our superior unit disrupts again. Superior and general got heavy foot at full strength. Snake Eyes, I'm guessing. Okay. Nothing much to do here. If we charge, we'll push them back and get flanked. So, we got some points on the table. We're going to kill some more horsemen and knights, but we're still going to lose because our entire center is caving in. Okay, next turn. There we go. I'm surprised I held that. Yep, there goes the right. Impact foot. Okay. Wonderful. Please. Good. Now that's going to save this hilltop position. I like how Panther Boy said that he was rusty. It's amusing. See if we can rally these berserkers up. Interesting. Ugh, what a massacre. Yeah, we just could not hold back the swarm of impact foot. You know, this is a sort of army that Lancers would have been especially useful against. To just plunk them in front once the skirmishing was over with into zone of control lock 3 units at a time. But instead, this happened. We'll still get some kicks in, but not for long. Because that, for example. Right. Onward. Alright, next turn. I'm kind of interested in seeing is that this Vikings and Ireland army is performing fairly well in Division B right now. I'm trying to decide if that's because I'm incompetent and I'm doing something wrong, or, I mean, and that's entirely possible, or if it means that the opponents I'm facing in Division A have figured out how to defeat armies like this in a way that players in Division B have not. I don't know. I should probably spend some time trolling the forums and see which armies are losing and which are winning to this army in Division B and compared to what I'm facing here in A. I don't think it's going to end this turn necessarily, because I have some favorable combat still. The Dailami army does have weaknesses. It's not some kind of like invincible tournament winner. The allies do make it better though, because they can bring lancers, but their lancers aren't very good. So if you have lancers of your own, they can have difficulties. And in addition, the impact foot, of course, have trouble against armies with elephants. Fortunately, I don't have elephants or lancers. So what I'd be really curious to see is, was the Dailami army fielded in Division B, and if so, how did it fare against Vikings and Ireland army? Give them a shove so we can keep moving. general up. Try to recover here. And in the meantime, just slam into these guys. Held firm. Was hoping to force them to fall back, no such luck, so we're going to lose both of these units next turn. It might not matter, we might lose even if those units miraculously held, which they won't. Well, they're gonna get flank charged. Oh well. Yeah, so Dailami Foot and Offensive Shield will cost the same, 42 points. But overall, I'd say the Dailami Foot are better because they can have a pretty good chance of disrupting the shield wall on impact, and then it's a massacre, basically, because they go from 50 POA to 100, and an even POA plus disruption is pretty brutal. The shield wall types are better at fighting cavalry, but even the Dailami can generally bounce cavalry most of the time, so I don't think it's a benefit that makes up for the drawback of collapsing the face of impact foot. And you can kind of see this in like the classical sections and stuff that, you know, hoplite armies can do okay against impact foot, but they're not very popular, and that's for a reason. Okay, onward. Alright, next turn. Sounds from what Panther Boy typed out that despite his claiming to be rusty, this should be the last turn. Yeah, there go those flank attacks on my Huskarls on the hill. Ouch. I'm kind of curious. I might set up a friendly match against a good player using this Dailami army against this Viking army and see if I do as well as Panther Boy or if I get trashed. You know, it's always easy to blame your losses on your army or unit choice. But when you play mirror matches, it tends to clarify things, but of course the Digital League does not use the mirror match format. I actually kind of wish that it did, but that would be so many matches. You know, I would definitely not enter all 4 sections if that was, you know, 72 games. 36 was already pretty overwhelming, to be honest, so I think I'll accept things as they are, at least in that respect. Okay, there we go. So, what did I do wrong? You know, this left wing actually went pretty well. I think my initial deployment was off, though. I think I trusted too much to this forest to slow him down, and if I'd had the units that I tried to shift over in place already, I might have been able to hold this veteran Dailami Foot wing off longer. As usual, using this army, difficulty was the massed archers combined with skirmishers, because I had to get up close with my light javelins to fight them. And so, he's taunting me a little bit to come down off my hills at the start. And, I told him, I know you're going to get me down off them, and he did, by master archery and then falling back as I had to get drawn forward. He also made good use of his lights in disrupting these berserkers. They did eventually rally up, but they could have done much more damage. And I think another difficulty was that I tried to defend such a wide area that I had no reserves. So as my line started to open up a little bit, both as a result of my movements and his kind of punching holes through with impact foot, I had no one to fill in those gaps, and then he could just start rolling me up internally. So what should I have done instead? Hard to say. I mean, I had to fight for these hills, right? I could not sacrifice them. And, to get a longer line, I would have had to invest in fewer Huskarls, because they're 72 points a pop, as opposed to 60 points for the veteran Dailami foot. But as you saw, the standard offensive spearmen really couldn't hold out against the impact foot. I believe I invested in just 3 units of cavalry, and all 3 of them were very useful. Perhaps I should have invested in 2 more units of cavalry to get my maximum of 5. In the end, I think I was likely to lose this battle due to the type of armies involved. But also, of course, because Panther Boy is a better player than me. So I think I will, in the future, try out some friendly mirror matches with these armies and, one, see how I can do, but more importantly, try to get a feel for, what I could have or should have done here instead. But a pleasure losing to Panther Boy, as always, and educational, as always. Good game, and until next time.